What is happening, Magnus? Woo! One of the GOATs of all time anime. That's what you here to talk about, hear me talk about, review about. Now, Sung Jin Woo. Basically the weakest hunter alive on planet Earth. They live on this Earth where basically they live in Elden Ring. They live in a Soulsborne, a Souls-like, a RPG world, okay? And you got hunters, and they have different classes all the way up to S, okay? And you got your mages, you got your necromancers, you know what I'm saying? And it's really interesting the way you're kind of dropped into this, okay? Because in the first couple of episodes, especially the first one, it's brutal. Brutal. So bad you feel bad for the man. He's an E rank. And he gets into a battle with a few other hunters. They're ambushed. Some things happen. But after all the gory details, he's actually given a second chance. However, it's as if he is playing or in charge of his own destiny in a video game. But he didn't have this option before. As a matter of fact, he can see it and no one else can see it. And the further I went along in this, I was like, yo. I was like, oh my God, this dude is playing Elden Ring. He is playing a From Software game, period. There are tropes in here, certain cliche things that if you're a gamer and you've played these games specifically, and they don't have to be them, just certain RPGs, you're like, yo, that happens. We do that. That's a choice. That's something we would do. That's something we wouldn't do. And he goes from basically Dragon Ball Z Krillin, scared of everything, to perfect, to that type of confidence, except with less bravado and more calmness to him. It's some of the best animation that I've ever seen in my entire life. Thank you so much, all of you, for asking me to do reactions to this. If you want to watch the reactions, they are on Patreon or YouTube memberships. I tell people, if you want a little bit more from me, go to Patreon. Patreon has a whole lot more of things that I can't do on YouTube. But if you're like, I don't want to leave YouTube, I want to watch it here, then you watch it on YouTube, okay? Now, these S-tier ranked hunters, there are several other ones. They're the top echelon, and there aren't a lot of them. And you have Chris Sabat, the voice of Prince Vegeta. He's in this. And by the way, guys, does his power transform him into a wolf man of sorts or a lion? I can't figure it out, but I'm thinking it's a lion. He's in it. You recognize his voice right away. I think whoever voices young Midoriya, I think that his voice is in here. There's a couple others that I think I recognize. But the fights are epic. The fights are epic. If you look at my thumbnails for my reactions to these, it shows you the epicness of these fights. I loved every minute of watching this. As a matter of fact, I started watching Demon Slayer and this at the same time, and I kept being drawn to this more than Demon Slayer. As much as I'm loving Demon Slayer, I really like Demon Slayer, but this one has its grip on me. From what I understand, I saw a couple of videos the other day about it, and people are saying it's the greatest anime, in a while, and it's like extremely, extremely popular in the world right now. So much so, people want more. They're hoping for a third season this year, but we're supposed to get a movie, from what I understand. So we're gonna get a movie for it, maybe late this year, early next year, whatever. Just get it out. Just please, and keep up the quality. You know what I'm saying? So back to this guy. He becomes S tier to the point, the other S tiers notice. But they notice that he's different. And he gets a particular ability that he leans heavily on. I'm still not sure if I really like that ability. It enables him to handle almost any situation where he could be overwhelmed in numbers, particularly. But it is cool at the same time. He did it one time, the first time, okay, all right, oh, cool. I was like, okay, so he's got his own, okay, cool. But then he kept doing it, and I was like, I feel like this is detracting from his solo leveling, him being that powerful character himself. But when he is pitted against certain issues that require just him, he does end up handling them. There's a couple of them where he kind of runs into situations where it's like, what's going to happen? But he remains untouchable for the most part. I don't think we've seen him extremely challenged yet. And I assume that would come. I'm fine with power fantasies where a dude's almost unstoppable at all times. I'm kind of fine with that. It's just how the story is told. Some people have issues with Superman because they feel he's too powerful. And it's kind of like, how do you, but if you know how to tell the story right, you can become a big fan of Superman. Like me. I already am. You know what I'm saying? So I hear, though, that there's a split among the fandom about whether this really is a great series or not. Some people think that it's rather shallow as far as story goes. Some people think it's just not deep enough. And I'm a VRR fan. I have a variable refresh rate when it comes to entertainment. So as long as the story is told in a manner that entertains me, I'm down with it. It can be the most shallow, simple, dull storytelling. But if it's done in a way that's exciting and is fun and entertaining, I'm fine. If you want to sip coffee or wine, yeah, the story. If you want to go deep, I can do slow burn deep too. Doesn't matter to me as long as it's done correctly. Personally, I'm one of the fans that feels that this is done correctly. I'm angry that season 1 and 2 are over. I want more. And I'm sad until I get more. So, that ability that he overuses too much, I'm going to say, he uses at one point at the end of the series in a very, very noble way that I thought was really cool. I was like, wow. And the way he handles it is perfect. I was like, that was really cool. And he didn't have to even do that if he didn't want to. The power hasn't really gone to his head. It has and it hasn't. It has in a way to where it's made him extremely confident, slightly cocky, but he's not like power mad. He's not, he hasn't been tainted yet. He hasn't been corrupted by it, which I don't know is going to happen or not. And we still don't know the reason why he has this ability to control his fate the way he does, and no one else does. These other people seem to be born this way. He got a second chance. Although the other S-tier heroes do speak of this particular thing that has happened to him, but they're not extremely sure. Kind of something, like I said, something is different about him. So I'm going to give seasons 1 and 2 By the way, I didn't even know that 1 ended and 2 began. You know, with anime, sometimes you'll get a couple of different intros in one season. And I was into it 3 or 4 deep into season 2 before I realized I'm in season 2. I liked that seamless transition. And at least it felt that way to me. But anyway, I'm going to give this 5 out of 5. Woo! One of the greatest anime of all time so far. I'm loving it. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think. If you enjoyed my thoughts on this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share. 10 million subscribers. Woo!